What's up, peeps? Future Spencer here. This is part two of the Inside Star Citizen Interface Showcase Fall 2020 video that Star Citizen put out. I'm talking about engineering in this one. The first one is talking about the UI and the kind of thoughts that I had on that. This is the engineering and the prototyping side. Really cool stuff. I'm excited for the gameplay eventually, but it's gonna be a little bit of time. So if you want to check out the part one, it's either up here or up here. I don't know because I'm just getting a hang of this. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments and or feedback that you want to give, put it in the comments below. I really would appreciate it. I do listen to feedback. The reason why this is split up into two is because my first video was so long, and so I want to make sure that I'm listening. So anyway, y'all have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.
The purpose of prototyping, especially for anything gameplay related, is to prove that it's fun. If you don't have it fun with a cube and a sphere, you can put all the pretty paint on top of it. It's never going to be fun.
So this is like a lot of what we learn in school about game design is that if the prototype is not fun, then the actual game is not fun. You can put lipstick on a pig, but it's always going to be a pig, right? Like it's just part of that. Like it's always if it's fun and if it's engaging at the lowest level, then when it's just gonna get funner, right? You put more flair into it and things like that. So huge thing with game design. If you're interested in that, it's just like that's big.
So with the resource management, we have this idea that there is one way the resources are managed throughout the entire game. There's one way to consume them, one way to produce them, and all the items everywhere, they use the same system. So we started by creating this small example of a ship where we have a power plant, we have a fuel tank, a battery, we have lights inside the ship, we have turrets, we have weapons. We try to build a priority system, so you never want your lights to have the same priority as, for example, your power plant or your weapons. Basically, as soon as we start the simulation, the power plant goes, I'm online now, but I have no fuel. So all of this energy right now, the lights start draining the battery. If we put some fuel in the fuel tank, as soon as we put it in, the power plant starts going online, the battery starts replenishing because there's not that many consumers online. If I go, okay, let's say I set my weapons, my laser weapons to fire, as soon as I do that, there will be more drain on the energy. We can actually see we have a simulation of resources. We know we're producing this much power and
So what's crazy, what's cool about this is and what's interesting is that it's a like this prototype obviously took some time to make, right? It's not just obviously this didn't appear. Nobody else, they didn't just get it from somebody. Like they had to create it in house, and it's just cool, and it shows what it really takes to kind of the steps, right? Like prototyping step first, probably what it does, and a lot of times we do this in game. We did this in game design school. Is make it so it's paper first, right? So you do the things with paper, and then if that like was decently engaging, then you go to this, right? Because it's paper takes the least amount of time, so you get to know like, okay, this is stupid with the least amount of time invested. Now it's this took a little bit of time for me. It probably take me about like a month or so to make this. Probably maybe less. We'll see. I don't know exactly how detailed it is. It looks pretty detailed. But like just coding wise and stuff, like as me as a technical designer, in a way, like I can do other stuff, but like technical design is what the job I would go for. um, Understanding programming, be able to program, like this would take me a little bit of time. If I had a programmer with me, a programmer team with me, or another designer or whatever, then obviously it'd be faster. and it probably can take a week, right? Like I know some programmers that can just like knock this stuff out. So um, yeah, it's just time and like everything with video game design and video game management and creation is time, right? Time, there's always a clock running because you're always paying people, and then you have you eventually run out of money, but Star Citizen's a little different, but yeah. So interesting about it is how long and the just the coolness of this prototype versus they what they probably did first was actually make a paper prototype.
Requesting this much. We're running everything through exactly the same system. Now, same thing. Let's say someone takes out our power plant because it got shut down or got sabotaged. Automatically now we're on battery power. It might go, okay, we don't need weapons now. We're going to turn them off. Lights, I only need the one in the front, so I'm conserving a bit of battery power until I can repair my power plant. Once I repair my power plant, this goes online and I can start turning stuff on again. And this was our first thing we did, where we built the ship. And we built this tool in a way that allows us to build different ship configurations. So as you can see, you can kind of understand the basic shape of a hammerhead. As soon as I turn on,
That's also made JSON file, so that's pretty cool.
The simulation, we can see we have both power plants are starting to produce power. The fuel tank starts to get drained. The battery is on full capacity. We have these relays. Relays are a new concept that we're introducing in the ship in order for all those resources to travel from the fuel tank to the power plant, from the power plant to the battery, from the battery to the lights. Everything travels through these relays. Now, each relay you have on your ship is going to consume power. So the less you have, the more efficient you're going to be. The more you have you're going to be more redundant. For example, in this case, let's say someone sabotages this and they destroy this part. You can see already this part of the ship lost resources. If we lose this one, this power plant is off. Let's say now I need to start shooting, so I'm manning my turrets and they're shooting. I'm starting my hammerhead doesn't have these weapons exactly here. We're just trying to simulate a ship at this point. You will start notice my lights started going off because in the priority my lights are very low priority. If you look at the battery is starting to drain. Let's say at this point it reaches 0, it ran out. Now this turret is off, it doesn't have power. This one is not running at what we requested because there's only one power plant running right now. Now, if I have a mechanic on board, he'll go, okay, this relay is broken, get power back to that power plant. As soon as we got power back to the power plant, we're starting to get our resources back, lights start going back online, we're back in business at this point. But let's say we have, I don't know, a smarter saboteur that goes, well, I kind of see how this ship is configured, I'm actually going to cut it in half. And this is usually like a worst case scenario. The system is smart enough to understand the idea that once the ship is cut in half, this front part of the ship has its own resource network, and this part of the ship is its own resource network. So it runs them independently. So everything in the back gets powered by these two power plants, but anything in front, it's completely dead because our battery is dead. As an engineer, your main goal is going to be to keep your ship as operational and as efficient as possible. So let's say now I'm transporting goods. I'm just moving from A to B. It's a pleasure cruise, no problem. I never want to travel like this. Each of these relays is going to be a drain on resources. So I'm going to turn this one off because I can turn this one off and I can turn this one off. And power and resources still have a route to travel. And I'm still keeping everything online. I'm trying to minimize the number of things that I'm powering on the ship. So this would be a viable configuration in which I'm still keeping everything on the ship fully functional. But let's say I go into battle. With this configuration into battle, if I take a hit here and this gets shot or gets sabotaged, I instantly lost half of my firepower. So it's a good thing to use when you're not in danger. When you're in danger, you just switch stuff to a more redundant system. Besides this, with all the overclocking and setting power levels, setting resource levels for each items, setting priorities, I think that the engineer is going to be a crucial part of the ship. So this is where we are right now with this prototype. This is going to take quite some time to implement. This touches on a lot of systems. A lot of stuff will have to get refactored, but we're hopeful that once this reaches the live environment, this is going to make the game so much better for everyone involved.
Yeah. It looks so good. Like engineer at first, I was like, like we'll see, but it looks actually a lot of fun. Very skilled, like based. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting how they actually implement it to like. Is it gonna be a view like that, and you can remotely do this stuff, or you have to go physically and do this stuff, or depending on what ship it is, right? Or that could be something. Um, Another interesting thing, like he said, it's gonna be a while. I'm like at first I was like a year and a half, but I'm thinking 2 years, and here's why. The thing is that they have to first implement it, right, and then they're going to have to create the tools, and yeah, create the tools. So then, therefore, designers like myself can put that stuff into the ships, and then there's 100 ships or something like that. There's going to be a lot more ships in the future, so it's so to get and there's it's going to sources going to be constantly growing because that's kind of the model that they have. Like more ships, then there it has to be easy for them to implement because you don't want somebody you don't want a engineer programmer to like be stuck in like creating this stuff, right? You want somebody that's paid less, pretty much, for resource management. And it's cool. Like it looks amazing. Very good prototype. It's that probably took a while to do, but like it looks a lot of fun. So hopefully, what I am hoping is that the repair is not more than just shooting at something, like shooting a repair gun, a repair ray. I hope that it's actually bigger than that. So it's like, it's a little bit of a mini game because it's like it just helps with the skill. Like you can practice and become a really good engineer by one understanding what nodes and what relays need to be up, but also like being able to really do the mini game well, versus the opposite of like oh you just shoot, okay, like so then anybody can become an engineer, which doesn't make that much sense, but we'll see the implementation. Just like the medical gameplay, I think that it should be some type of mini game about how good you heal somebody. um, you know if you're good at it, you can heal better and things like that. So it's something. I'm not sure what it's going to be. If there is going to be a mini game, they haven't really announced anything from my knowledge. If they have, let me know. I'd love to talk about that too. But yeah, this is about it. I think this is the end of the episode. He just kind of talks about stuff. So thanks for watching. If you have questions, comments, concerns, just tips, whatever, leave them down below in the comments. Like hopefully this was hopefully you liked it. Maybe learn some stuff about game design, or if you agree or whatever. I really enjoy this game. Like I play it every night. I'm doing Twitch pretty much 9 p.m. Specific Pacific Standard Time. Every night. I'm still trying to figure out the schedule. I'm just really starting to get into this, so I'm not exactly sure yet. But I'm really like it's a very well like it's a at seeing what it is now. It's already well designed, and just to be able to see the future and be part of it in this way will be great. Um, yeah, but so thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and thanks. Bye.